You might find this hard to believe because it sounds too simple. What if everything we've been told about brushing our teeth, that more is always better, is actually wrong? What if brushing just once a day and doing it gently is actually the healthier approach? What if all that vigorous brushing we thought was keeping us healthy has actually been damaging our teeth and gums? I know this might be hard to accept. What I'm about to share with you today might completely change your lifelong habits. It might be shocking, but once you know this truth, you can start taking better care of your teeth and gums from today forward. This information is especially important for those over 60. Please listen to the very end. I've been a dentist for 40 years. Even now, at 83 years old, I still see patients 3 days a week. Most of my friends my age are wearing dentures, but I'm still eating tough foods with my natural teeth without any problems. But you know what? I once suffered terribly with dental problems myself. Even though I brushed 3 times a day, I had sensitive teeth and bleeding gums. If a dentist like me had these problems, imagine how many misconceptions and wrong habits the general public might have. The turning point for my oral health was surprisingly simple. When I reduced how often I brushed and changed my method, everything changed. This is based on medical evidence, but it's a truth that many doctors don't easily share with their patients. Today, I want to share this story with you. There was a time when even I, as a dentist, was considering dentures. What I realized while treating thousands of patients is that many of the habits we believe are keeping us healthy are actually having the opposite effect. The habit I'm going to share today can be practiced by anyone starting right now. You don't need special tools or expensive products. I'll simply teach you a different way to brush your teeth and an important oral care method that most people overlook. I hope this information helps you maintain healthy aging, and I ask that you listen to the very end. Hello, I'm Dr. Choi Jong-ho. I'm 73 years old, but I still see patients every day. When you think of a dentist in his 70s, what comes to mind? You probably imagine someone retired, enjoying life leisurely, but I'm still meeting patients in my clinic 3 days a week. I once believed that you must brush your teeth as much as possible, so I brushed immediately after every meal. 3 times was the minimum, I thought. I had no idea this belief would ruin my gums. Why did I, a dentist, practice the wrong brushing method? Because what we learned and what's actually effective can be different. Today, I want to share the real secret to oral health that I discovered during my 40 years as a dentist. I'll talk about misconceptions and truths about toothbrushing and important habits that many people overlook. Are you also suffering from sensitive teeth, bleeding gums, or bad breath? Through today's story, you'll be able to find solutions to these problems. Around age 65, I began experiencing serious dental problems. Despite brushing 3 times daily, my teeth became sensitive and my gums swollen. Even a sip of cold water was painful, and sometimes my gums bled so much that the sink turned red. It was truly ironic that I, a dentist, was experiencing these problems. I had always advised patients to brush 3 times a day, yet I was following that advice religiously while suffering myself. I used good toothpaste and brushed thoroughly. So why were problems occurring? That's when I realized something was wrong. When I reviewed my patient records, I made a shocking discovery. Many patients with poor oral health were actually people who brushed too diligently. This realization completely changed my approach to oral health. If you're also managing your teeth diligently but still having dental problems, today's story will help you. One day, an 87-year-old patient named Mr. Lee came for a regular checkup. Amazingly, his teeth were remarkably healthy. Even in his late 80s, most of his natural teeth remained, and his gum condition was good too. When I asked what his secret was, he answered simply, The habit of brushing once a day, gently. At first, I couldn't believe it. For someone who had spent a lifetime recommending brushing 3 times a day to patients, this was shocking news. When I asked for more details, he said he only brushed before bed, and the rest of the time, he just rinsed his mouth with water after meals. Moreover, he used a very soft toothbrush and used dental floss and a tongue cleaner every day. I began changing my habits following his advice. Amazingly, within a month, my tooth sensitivity greatly decreased, and after 2 months, my gum bleeding disappeared too. That's when I realized with toothbrushing, method is more important than frequency. You need to watch this story to the end to understand the full context accurately. And so this important information can reach many people around you. Please like and subscribe. Will you change your oral care habits starting today? 5 critical mistakes you must avoid. First, never skip brushing before bed. Many people brush first thing in the morning and often skip brushing before bed because they're tired. But actually, you should do the opposite. If you can only brush once a day, you must do it before bed. Why is this? Because saliva production decreases at night, allowing bacteria to multiply more actively. If you go to sleep for 8 hours without brushing, bacteria proliferate and greatly increase the risk of cavities and gum disease. Mrs. Han Young-hee, age 72, only brushed thoroughly in the morning and often skipped evenings. As a result, she kept getting cavities for years, and after repeated treatments, she eventually lost several teeth. The practical tip is simple no matter how tired you are. Never skip brushing before bed. Pre-bedtime brushing is much more important than morning brushing. If you're too tired, keep water and a toothbrush by your bedside and brush briefly even while lying down. The important point is that after brushing before bed, it's best not to consume anything except water. Drinking sugary beverages before sleep greatly increases cavity risk, so be careful. Which do you consider more important, morning or evening brushing? Please remember the importance of bedtime brushing starting today. Second, using old toothbrushes too long. How often do you replace your toothbrush? Many people use their toothbrush until it's completely worn out, but this can cause more serious problems than you think. The bristles of an old toothbrush spread and deform, unable to properly clean between teeth and gums. More seriously, bacteria can multiply on old toothbrushes, actually spreading germs in your mouth. Mr. Yoon Byung-chul, age 78, only replaced his toothbrush about once a year. He said it seemed wasteful to throw it away. But when he came to the dentist with recurring gum infections, one of the causes was his old toothbrush. The practical tip is to replace your toothbrush regularly every 3 months. And if the bristles are noticeably spread, replace it immediately, even if it hasn't been 3 months. If you use an electric toothbrush, you should replace the head every 3 months as well. The important point is that when storing your toothbrush to prevent bacterial growth in the humid bathroom environment, it's good to store it upright in a well-ventilated place. Also store it separately so it doesn't touch other family members' toothbrushes. How often do you replace your toothbrush? How about marking the replacement date 3 months from now on your calendar starting today? Third, not using dental floss and interdental brushes. You cannot maintain perfect oral health with brushing alone, because a toothbrush can only clean about 60% of tooth surfaces. How should you manage the remaining 40%, especially between teeth? This is exactly why you need dental floss and interdental brushes. These tools remove plaque and food particles from between teeth where toothbrushes can't reach. If you don't manage this area, it becomes the easiest place for cavities and gum disease to start. Mr. Choi Jong-ho, age 69, brushed thoroughly 3 times daily but kept getting cavities between his teeth. The problem was solved only after he started using dental floss. At first, it was difficult because his hands weren't used to it, but after about a month, it became a natural habit. The practical tip is to use dental floss or interdental brushes once a day after evening brushing. For seniors with hand difficulties, products with floss holders are more convenient. Interdental brushes are effective for wider spaces between teeth, while dental floss works better for narrow spaces. The important point is that when you first start using dental floss, there may be slight bleeding from your gums, but this bleeding will disappear with continued use. Don't use it too forcefully. Gently insert and remove it between teeth. Are you using dental floss or interdental brushes? Now you understand how important managing between teeth is for overall oral health, right? Fourth, not cleaning your tongue. If you brush diligently but bad breath doesn't go away, the cause is likely your tongue. Did you know that about 60% of oral bacteria live on the tongue, especially the back of the tongue? The grooved structure of the tongue surface provides a perfect environment for bacteria to multiply. These bacteria become the main cause of bad breath and can also transfer back to teeth and gums, causing oral diseases. Mr. Young Tae-young, age 75, suffered from bad breath for a long time. Even brushing 3 times a day didn't eliminate the mouth odor, to the point where his social activities became restricted. After starting to use a tongue cleaner, he felt a clear change within a week. The practical tip is to purchase a soft tongue cleaner and use